Hello, senior disciples, and welcome back. And here we are, the final chapter in our series on the 5 disciplines of life. And this one really touches on our deepest calling and maybe our greatest fear. Just imagine for a second, you get to the end of it all. You're looking back on your entire life of practice. Which would you rather say? I truly did it, or I could have, but I just kept waiting? That's the question our teacher Jigong Living Buddha is asking us to face, right here, right now.
So our teacher starts us off with this really profound truth. The real fear isn't that our bodies are going to age or that we'll see some white hair and wrinkles in the mirror. That's just the natural way of things. The true decline, the real tragedy we have to avoid is when our spirit gets stagnant. It's when our heart just stops learning, stops changing, stops moving forward on the path. And this one idea really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. How do we make absolutely sure that this life, this incredible, precious chance to cultivate, doesn't end in emptiness?
So to help us get our heads around this, here's the roadmap for this final teaching. First, we're going to look at the cycle of blame that just keeps us spinning our wheels. Then we'll dive into how we make the path, which is actually pretty simple, so complicated. From there, we'll get to the one core principle that can always bring us back. Then we'll figure out what all the hardship we face is really for. And finally, we'll hear our teacher's last, most urgent charge to every single one of us.
Okay, so first up, our teacher puts his finger right on one of the biggest obstacles we face, not just by ourselves, but as a whole community. It's this habit we have of getting stuck, just spinning and spinning in these cycles of resentment and blame, all while scratching our heads wondering why we can't seem to get on the same page and move forward. Our teacher is practically begging us here, saying, stop constantly spinning in cycles of grievance and resentment. Stop constantly spinning in right and wrong, who's at fault and who isn't. You know why there are so many arguments? It's because every single person is so sure that they're the one who's right. There are just too many personal opinions, way too much stubbornness, and just no willingness to bend for the good of the group. Our teacher says this makes our community like scattered sand. You can't build anything great with that. The call is urgent. Unite, come together, and focus on the mission. That's what real wisdom looks like. And this really gets to the heart of the shift we have to make. Stop pointing fingers at everybody else all the time. Our teacher says it is time to turn that energy around, point it inward, and start cultivating your own inner virtue. If you're running into problem after problem, the first place to look isn't out there, it's in here. The hard truth is, maybe our own progress just isn't strong enough yet, and that's the real root of it all. And to do that inner work, we need these 3 essential qualities. Okay, first, no arrogance. But at the same time, we can't be without a backbone. That's our integrity, right? Our principles. And finally, we have to have ambition. Not for money or fame, but spiritual ambition. That's our vow. That's the engine that keeps us going. It's this incredible, delicate balance between humility, integrity, and a deep, powerful sense of purpose. So that leads us right into the next point, which is about the path itself. And here's the thing. The path of cultivation is actually incredibly simple. It's us. It's our own minds that make it feel so complicated and so hard.
Wow. Just let that sink in. It's so liberating, but it's also kind of sobering, right? The path itself is straightforward, but our minds, with all the fear, the judgment, the doubt, the constant what-ifs, that's what messes it all up and turns it into a tangled knot. And our teacher reminds us we are so incredibly fortunate. When we're suffering, heaven is gently trying to nudge us, to wake us up. But, and our teacher says this with a bit of sadness, sometimes we just don't care.
And if we don't get a handle on this, the consequence is, well, it's serious. When we let our minds get all stirred up,
When our hearts turn cold the second things get tough, all our hard work, all those efforts we've made, can add up to absolutely nothing. It is exactly like spending all day carrying water in a leaky bamboo basket, only to get to where you're going and realize it's completely empty. All that effort just gone.
You know, it's like when two stones hit each other, they make a noise. Instead of just feeling the ouch, we have to ask, well, why did that other stone even connect with my hand? This forces us to stop demanding that other people change to suit us. The real work, the work of cultivation, is to ask ourselves, why can't I find a way to create some harmony with this person? Because if we can't even manage that small harmony with the people right in front of us, how on earth can we even talk about the great harmony of all under heaven?
Okay, so if our own minds are the source of all these complications, what's the solution? Where do we turn? Well, our teacher gives us one central guiding principle that can fix our course at any time, no matter how lost we feel.
Our teacher boils down the entire solution into this one powerful phrase, 反求诸己. When things aren't going right, when you hit a wall, seek the cause inside yourself. This is it. This is our compass. It's the most important motto we can have. It is the very action of a heart that is truly awake.
And then our teacher lays out this classic distinction. A noble person, a true cultivator, looks for the root of the problem inside themselves. A small person always looks for someone else to blame. And our teacher puts the question right to us. In your day-to-day life, in your gut reactions, which kind of person are you? The answer isn't in what we say, it's in what we do, from one moment to the next.
And you can see how this creates a downward spiral, right? It all starts the moment we stop that self-reflection. When we stop looking inward, we stop growing. When we stop growing, we stop truly cultivating. And once that happens, anything we try to share with others becomes hollow. It's just empty words with no real power, because we're not taking care of the root anymore.
But look, this isn't about trying to achieve a perfectly blank mind. I mean, that feels impossible, doesn't it? Our teacher gives us this incredible piece of wisdom to reassure us. The goal isn't to never have a negative thought. The real practice is to get fast at noticing them. Don't worry that the thought popped up, just worry if you're too slow to wake up to it. If we can really do that, moment by moment, just purify our own mind, that's when cultivation gets real power. So this brings up a really important question. If we're always supposed to be looking inward, then what's the point of all the challenges we face on the outside? Well, here our teacher explains why hardship is not a curse. It's actually a necessary and even valuable part of our journey.
Think about it. A life that's too easy, that doesn't have layers of difficulty, it can't have any real depth. A life without all kinds of different trials and tests, it can't have any breadth. Hardship is the very thing that tests and strengthens our willpower. It's right in the middle of those challenges that our wisdom and our resilience are actually born. You know, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
And then our teacher gives us these 5 powerful statements, really hammering home that this journey is our own personal responsibility. The road, you have to walk it to get to the destination. If there's a rough road, you have to be the one to fill it in. If it's a winding road, you have to navigate it. When a test shows up, you have to work through it. And when something feels difficult, it's not there to beat you. It is there to verify the wisdom you've already gained.
And now, we've come to the conclusion of the teaching. This is our teacher's most urgent, most heartfelt, final set of instructions for all of us. This is the ultimate purpose, the call to action that makes sense of everything we've just talked about.
Right here, our teacher is calling for total spiritual self-reliance. We can't depend on outside things for our progress. Not people, not situations. They can guide us, sure, but they cannot walk the path for us.
In the end, the responsibility for our journey rests right here with us. Leaning on yourself, that's best.
And this is maybe the most beautiful image in the whole teaching. It's the highest meaning of a cultivated life. We are meant to be like that lamp. We are supposed to burn our own ego, our own attachments, our selfishness, and in that very process of refining ourselves, we provide light for the world, a life of selfless service. That is the ultimate expression of the Tao.
And then our teacher asks this piercing question, making us really look at our own authenticity. How many masks are we wearing? We have one face for the temple, another one for when we get home, and a totally different one for the outside world. True cultivation means our words and our actions match up. What's inside is the same as what's outside. And when we get there, we have this natural dignity, this quiet strength that's unshakable. That's dignified self-strengthening.
And in the end, our teacher just leaves us with this direct, simple, and incredibly profound question. It just hangs in the air, not for us to shout an answer, but for us to really think about in the quiet of our own hearts. Self-discipline. Do you have it? So our 5-chapter journey with our teacher, it comes to a close right here. But the real work, true cultivation, that doesn't happen in a lesson. It begins now. It begins in every single ordinary moment of our daily lives, with every choice we make to either slip back into an old habit or to take one more step on the path home. Let's start today. Gratitude for the grace of heaven and virtue of teachers. Thank you, senior disciples. Until next time.